Fantasy Football House. We're coming at you live from Dustin's house today. Dustin is the man to my right here. He is the college extraordinaire, the stat man. And then to his right, we got Craig, the ADP master, and the I guess draft whiz here too. We're gonna see his skills today because we got a mock draft episode coming at you. We also are gonna kick it off with some news first. Guys, how's everybody feeling?
Feeling pretty good. I mean, it's first week of we had a game, the Hall of Fame game, so you know it's a good day for football.
We're getting close, y'all. We're getting real close. I hope everyone's getting excited.
Yeah, Craig, you should be really excited. You're almost on your fourth monster here, sir.
I'm trying to stay in it, man. This is 60 hours a week is hard. But, hey, we are in the house that LT built. Let's do this.
All righty, guys. Well, let's kick it off with a little bit of chatter here. What's our feelings, since we are in a mock draft episode today, on mocking before your real draft? So, for us, our league is on the 21st of this month. So, we got a couple weeks. And now this is going to be, for some of us, our first mock today. How do we feel about that, guys? Do we think we need to practice ahead of time, or do we just look at do we just go off of our knowledge? What do you think, Craig?
I am superstitious. I do not want to help anyone beat me. So if a mock draft affects an ADP, I'm not going to mock draft. But I will look at results of mock drafts. I'm going to look at average ADP, and I'm going to calculate from there what I'm going to do round per round. But no, I don't want to show my hand before the cards go down.
You're showing your hand today, sir.
Yes, I am.
I agree. You know, it's just like any pro athlete. You got to practice before you go into the game. So this being our game.
Mental reps.
Exactly. You got to get somebody just took Christian McCaffrey. What am I going to do next? It makes it that much faster. So you got to get those reps in.
I think Craig is his feeling of mock draft's a little throwback to some Allen Iverson. You talking about practice? Like, I got to be here for practice? Like, yes, Craig. You got to show your hand today. You got to participate today in the practice. This is for the peeps. This is for the Fantasy Football House.
I'm going to let y'all into my mind today.
Oh, snap, guys.
Today.
It's like Six Flags roller coaster. Like, it's going to be crazy.
Hey, that Batman ride's dope.
All right.
Well, guys, let's jump into some news real quick before we get this mock draft rolling. It's been a lot of action happening. That training camp's been going, and then now we just had our first game last night with the Cowboys and the Steelers. But some of the news that's popped off, Hollywood Brown looks like he's going to be out for a bit. What are we thinking about his injury as far as how it's going to affect the draft? And then the rookie, Rashad Bateman. Do we think that, you know, does he jump up to the wide receiver one? Like, what do we think, guys?
I mean, in my opinion, you know, it's preseason. So injuries are going to happen. You're always going to be left with these questions. You know, what if is the number 2 going to become the number 1? You know, I think they know what they're doing. They have a great health squad on there, so they're going to get Hollywood Brown back. And yes, Rashad Bateman may be number 1 at the start of the season, but as soon as Brown gets his legs back underneath of him, I think he's going to be there.
Greg, I mean, Hollywood Brown has some injury history already, and this is only his second or third year here in the league. He was nicked up a lot in college too. So what's your feeling on the whole situation?
I don't think Hollywood has done enough to secure the role. So I think Bateman is worth a late-round flyer. In my opinion, I'm going to put more stock in Mark Andrews this year.
That's where I was going to pivot to. Yeah, Mark Andrews is your technical wide receiver 1 for that team now, for sure, with Hollywood if he misses a game or two. But Bateman's got a real shot here. He can really step up.
Yeah.
I think he's more of an all-around guy, where Hollywood's more just straight speed. But, yeah, we're going to see what happens. And then the biggest news of the week, guys, Carson Wentz hurt again. It doesn't matter if he's an Eagle or a Colt. He still gets hurt.
Is that really news? Like,
Yeah, true.
it's every year.
Every year. So crazy thing about the injury real quick. It was an injury that he got from his high school, like during high school time. And I guess he had broke the bone in the foot. And then eventually at this point, this year, this time, that the bone fragment like got loose or something. And so that's what needed the surgery to be fixed. But so he looking like might miss the first couple weeks of the season. The big news, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to draft Carson Wentz, really. What is our concerns here about Jonathan Taylor, who was going at the back end of the first round?
Second round. I Austin Eckler. Man, Nick Chubb. You know, I mean, I think it moves him down. I think I'll take wide receivers ahead of him. Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. I might even do D-Hop before Jonathan Taylor. If there were concerns before, if there's no quarterback, second round for me. What about you, Dustin?
I'm right there with you. We've talked about it in previous episodes. The zero running back strategy. If he falls past that, if you could get somebody better in the second round, I'd definitely pass on him, which puts him to the 7th or 8th round if he's still there. It's tough, but when your quarterback's Carson Wentz, it's kind of a year-by-year basis, so year-by-year question too. So,
yeah, Jonathan Taylor hype train is officially stopped, guys. He was a big push. He might have even been getting up there almost in the top 5 of some guys' drafts, but I think we all have him pretty much around the back end of the first. Now, I'm thinking I'm on the same train as the rest of us here, that more the back end of that second round. And man, if you can get lucky, maybe early third. But it's tough to touch him right now. But if Wentz does come back and he does anything close to his MVP season before he got hurt then too, then, I mean, you got yourself an RB1, and you got him in possibly the third round. So, yeah, bummer news for Jonathan Taylor.
Antonio Gibson or Taylor?
Gibson.
You have to.
That you have to, with the stability that they have there at quarterback. I mean, I think Carson Wentz should be a better quarterback than Fitz, but Fitzpatrick, he just, he's
I want
durable.
that. I want that Indy offense. I want the running back for that offense. But
yeah, and I didn't even hit on this, but they lost one of the Nelson, one of their. I think he's the number 1 guard in the league. They lost him to the same exact injury a day later that Carson Wentz had. He had the same exact surgery. Is that weird?
So Quentin Nelson's out for
the same amount of time as Carson Wentz, but he did quote. This is from him, say that he will be back by effing week 1. So I think you can count on Nelson being there if he has anything to say.
An offensive lineman too, guys. If we're talking about a bone fragment in the foot, I mean, he's not. How can I say this? He's not going to have to run real fast. He's not going to have to jump real high. He's a big man, so being in the trenches, yes, he's going to have a lot of weight that he's carrying, but he's been dealing with that his whole life probably. So I believe in Nelson's return productivity a little more than Carson Wentz.
I had some other news come down the pipeline from the Eagles' first-round pick. The Heisman Trophy winner from last year, Devontae Smith, will miss 2 to 3 weeks. Hopefully he can be ready for week 1. Does he fall in y'all's drafts at all right now, guys, if y'all were drafting today, which we are? Practicing.
I mean, we are drafting today. One thing we all have stressed is this is the preseason. There's going to be injuries. Guys haven't played for a long time. I don't even know if I'd count last year as actually playing. But, it's going to happen. It's nothing to – unless it's a big injury, it's nothing to – change your drafting strategy around.
I mean, this guy could pop like Odell did his rookie year. I mean, Odell missed all the preseason, I think, with the hamstring injury, and then came out week 1 and in that season and just became the Odell Beckham that we know. So that was a good rookie pickup that year for whoever got him. So I see him falling a couple rounds in the draft here, but nothing too concerning yet. Craig, what's your input?
If he misses time in his first training camp, that opens the door for someone.
Doesn't open up the door for anybody else on the Eagles.
Fulcom had some productivity last year. First round pick Rager in his second season. He's a late round flyer. So yeah, I mean, right now, if we're talking about him being back for week 1, it's definitely somebody that I'm going to draft in a later round, stash him in hopes that maybe week 4 or 5. I don't want to have to hang on to him for very long, but he should be the number 1. So, no, he's not off my board completely, just not real high.
I think it's a chance for, as we've talked about in future or past episodes, finding value. With the injury, he's going to drop. That's a chance for whoever picks him up to get value. So, yeah.
Most definitely. Well, we got the mock draft coming up right now, but first we're going to jump into a sponsor here, Hooked Up Guide Service. Craig, can you tell us a little bit about this? I know you got some personal experience.
Oh, man, I'm a fisherman, so if it's not fantasy football, it's fishing. And yes, Captain Patrick Tabor, Hooked Up Guide Service. If you're in South Texas, specifically Corpus Christi, Aransas Pass area, he's going to put you on the redfish. He's going to put you on the trout. He's a pretty comical guy too, I think that goes a long way. That's important. But it's all
looking
about
at some huge fish here.
It's all about catching fish and having fun, man, and that's what he does. So look into it. Again, Hooked Up Guide Service on Facebook.com. Hooked Up Guide Service.
And that's our ad there for Hooked Up Guide Service, guys. Go check it out. Now we get into the meat of the episode here. What everybody's been waiting for. Are you ready for the mock draft episode? Coming at you. Our first mock here of the year. We have a 12-team half-point PPR. We randomized the draft order. And we have Dustin at pick number 2. Craig at pick number 5. And then me over here at pick number 9. Josh is at pick 9.
Is anybody excited or not excited about their pick? I love 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 5 is really good. I think you want to be in that middle part of the draft. I think you can't go wrong with where Dustin's at either. I mean, you're going to hopefully, I think he's going to get himself a nice running back.
Dalvin Cook, baby.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to take all the scraps and put it all together, and I'm going to create a super monster machine and beat all you guys with this team.
Now, we're just talking about this today. It is pick 5 through 7 is definitely where you want to be. Maybe even 8. Sorry, Josh. But that is where you want to be. That's going to be the easiest. You're not going to have to jump on people. You're not going to have to pass on people just for being, later or early in the draft. But it's funny, we were just talking about that.
Yeah. Well, Dustin's going to get this thing fired up for us here, guys, but we're going to talk through each pick for the most part, any highlights that jump out, and then we'll let you know.
Oh, that was fast.
So off the board first, a little surprise. He's been climbing up the ranks as Derrick Henry. So then Dustin jumped in there, and he took Christian McCaffrey. I think that was a layup given to you there, huh, Dustin?
Absolutely.
Ooh, baby.
Alrighty, guys. And then after that, we
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook went 3rd.
What?
Kamara 4th. Elliott 5th by Craig. And then Aaron Jones, who's been skyrocketing up boards, goes next. Saquon Barkley and Taylor. And then as I'm on the clock here, I will take Nick Chubb to get a running back going here.
Let's go ahead and pause it so we can go the first round of narrative real quick. We can just get a little. There you go.
Alrighty, guys. Yep, we're working through technology here, but we got it going. We got we pause the draft real quick so we can recap this first round.
Pretty obvious that Henry going first overall is a surprise, but Dustin gets McCaffrey. Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a beast since he's came out of Stanford. He's coming back from injury, but he's one of those guys that is gonna go to work. He's gonna go to work in the gym, gonna get back healthy, and he may not put up the numbers he did, but he's gonna put up some numbers.
I feel like, Dustin, you're the guy at the local gym that's standing down on the other end of the basket, and you just cherry picked a nice, easy 2-point bucket right there.
Absolutely.
Dalvin Cook goes third. I get lucky because Kamara goes fourth. I didn't want to have to make any decisions there. And then my personal next player available, best player available, I got Zeke. So Aaron Jones after that.
Yeah, like he's flying up the boards here. ADP is still adjusting to a lot of this stuff here on Sleeper app. Saquon's been kind of falling here. He goes 7th. Jonathan Taylor, like I said, the news is still reacting on that. You might see him fall a little bit more. And then it came to me. I took Nick Chubb, who I think was the only first-round worthy running back left in my eyes, so I took him. Dustin, you want to finish out from 10-team on here in the first
we
round?
got Tyreek Hill, first wide receiver taken. Then it kind of switches 2 wide receivers. You got Devontae Adams, and Stephon Diggs coming off the board, and that'll finish up the first round.
Yeah, solid, man. You can't go wrong with either Hill or Adams there. It's number 1. I know we were debating last episode, was there anybody else that could touch Adams? And I think we all just kind of blanked on Hill, or at least I have a good feeling Hill should be up there too. So no going wrong there. And then Diggs is pretty much everybody's consistent number 3.
And news coming through this morning that Allen signed a massive contract. So, I mean...
Oh, Josh Allen, yeah.
Yeah, him and Diggs are
loving it, too.
Absolutely.
Diggs was promoting that, hyping him up, happy for the money, happy for the guy. Team 12 goes again in the second round and jumps to the tight end, who I'm surprised made it out of the first round, Travis Kelce. Craig, what do you think about that? The tight end making it out of the first round, getting to the second.
It's fine. It's not unheard of. I think in our draft, I'm not tripping out. It's cool. He's always gonna go at the back end or the front end of the second. He's always going at the turn somewhere. So 2 or 3 spots, give or take, no big deal.
Okay. Austin Eckler after that, and then D-Hop. Now we're back on myself here. I'm going to let the guys talk it over here while I look through my next pick.
I am curious if I'm going to get the wide receiver I want right here.
See, guys, I'm in a dilemma here between 2 running backs that I love.
1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go.
And one has burned me.
Here we go.
One has burned me a lot. So I'm going to let him burn me again. I'm going to go Joe Mixon here. Dustin's going to get this going again and pause it real quick so we can get that up there. And I do indeed take Joe Mixon. Off the board after that is Calvin Ridley. Then goes the guy I was in between there, Gibson. I almost went Gibson, guys. I was back and forth there. A.J. Brown goes right before Craig, and he is now upset and cursing. I'm guessing he was either looking for him or Ridley there at the.
Sorry, guys, don't have a bleep button. It's an adult stream. You got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, already? All right.
And the countdown on Craig, and he goes Justin Jefferson. And then DK Metcalf goes after that. Then Patrick Mahomes, first quarterback off the board here. Now it's on Dustin. And he's got about 20 seconds here. Where are you leaning kind of in your mind, Dustin? You thinking running back?
I definitely am. I mean, I think if I don't go running back here, I'm going to...
Yeah, so he indeed does go running back to start off with. Recap Craig's team real quick. He's sitting with Zeke and Justin Jefferson, so he went running back, wide receiver. And then my team, I went Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon, running back. So 2 running backs here, and then 1 running back, wide receiver. How are we liking our team so far, guys?
I am loving it. Absolutely loving it.
I mean, first 2 rounds, you can't really complain right now. You're picking up the cream of the crop, so.
I'm upset. I took Joe Mixon again for the 3rd year in a row. If this was our fantasy football draft and I just did this, how do I get myself in Joe Mixon?
all signs point to he's going to do it. So it's, hey, well, I mean, the volume should be there, and he's talented. So he checks off a lot of boxes, man.
I think you shouldn't be too worried. I mean, you can handcuff in the 7th, 8th round, maybe.
Let me ask you this, Josh. 3rd year in a row, Joe Mixon. Don't you want some foundational pieces that you know is going to produce? Not can produce, because he could be a top 5 running back. Or he could be RB 10 through 15 range. And, I mean, yeah, he's a starter.
The
but
reason why I love Joe Mixon again this year, but which gives me even more hope than the other years, is that there is no Gio Bernard there anymore. So now I think he is a true 3-down back.
Gio was there last year, and he was still getting the volume before injury.
So I'm not getting that with Chubb, who my first-round pick. But, he's dominating what he does, like Derrick Henry. He's going to get his still. But I like those 3-down backs, knowing that he's going to be touching the ball possibly every single down, possibly. So that's why I went there.
The only reason why I was asking is if we are drafting and thinking about foundational pieces is you just don't want to miss in the first 4 rounds. That's all I've got in my mind right now. So if I wanted Ridley and I had to go from my next best wide receiver available because I knew the running backs weren't going to be there, I was hoping to get CEH into the 3rd. That didn't happen, unfortunately, but foundational pieces, that's what I'm targeting right now. So
that's same here. I was
for Mahomes.
I was tempted on CEH. For me, being a college guy, Harris killed it in college. So there's that hope he's going to a established offense. So I don't think there's going to be that much pressure on him. So I think he's going to be able to relax, get his stride, and once he's ready, they're going to say, Harris, take it to the house. And
I think even on the broadcast last night, Roethlisberger was alluding to that they're going to lean on Harris big time. And then you said you were between Harris and CEH, and CEH went next in the 2nd round. And then to kick off the 3rd round, our second tight end went off the board, George Kittle. And then we're back to Dustin. Dustin, where are you leaning at here for your 3rd pick?
I mean, we've talked about it in past. We got to go. I got my 2 running backs. That's going to solidify most of my structure. So I'm really looking forward to a wide receiver here. So.
All righty. Well, let's see what the board has here for you. There's some good guys still out there. We got Keenan Allen. We got Terry McLaurin. Just a couple of names there for wide receiver.
Man, Dustin, I thought you went Mahomes. You went Harris.
Yeah.
We still got Waller out there, who's the 3rd tight end. That usually has come off the board. Sometimes he's a 2nd. And Dustin does go with Keenan Allen. Then J.K. Dobbins. Then
what a
Carson.
Snipe,
Chris
dude.
Carson. And then now it's on Craig. Here he's got a running back and a wide receiver so far. Where are you leaning at in your mind right now, Craig?
Pause for just a second. I'm going to let you run through my mind. I feel really good with my first 2 foundational pieces. I'm not hoping. I know these players are going to produce. So, am I a little weak at running back? Yes. Do I feel like there's some good receivers out there? Yes. I am thinking about a running back right now. I am curious if there's anybody that makes me feel confident. And, I don't like it, but to avoid being, the 4th round running back?
Yeah. Like
death.
We talked about, you don't want to fall in that 4th round and later 4th to 6th rounds, I think it's what it was. Running backs that you get drafted there do not usually pan out.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I want to take one wide receiver, this is where the tier-based drafting comes in. Because I took Jefferson in the 2nd round and I feel good about it, I'm gonna take a running back here that I know is going to produce. Is he going to be top 5? He was last year.
Oh, who do we got here? We're about to see who Craig Mack is going to take. And he takes Montgomery out of Chicago. Yes, he finished up the year strong.
He sure did.
You're hoping that Justin Fields takes over that quarterback.
I think he could do it with Dalton. He did it with Trubisky. So I think the offensive lines could be slightly better. It's another year that they've been together. They've made some acquisitions, maybe not a whole lot, but he did it last year when you didn't think he could. And then this is a guy that he was in trade talks where I was trying to acquire him, but I just wasn't sold on him. And then by the end of the year, I thought, man, I should have pulled the trigger because the volume is there. I don't think he has a whole lot of competition either. So for my RB2, and we've already seen it last season, I know that what's the old boy's name? Little pass catcher.
From what team?
Cohen?
Thank you.
Oh, Tariq, yeah.
I know that Tariq Cohen's going to offer some things. I just don't see anyone taking away from Montgomery what he achieved last year. So as a foundational piece, and again, I had wide receiver. I had 2 or 3 guys that I really liked, but I'm confident in the 4th round I'm going to find a stud receiver that I still like and not the running back. So I took Montgomery. If Chris Carson had made it to me, I might have been in a dilemma there. But Montgomery is basically the cutoff for me that I still feel good about productivity.
Yeah, I think Montgomery, after coming off last season, and then now the reports about Tariq Cohen not looking so good coming back from that injury, like I don't think he's going to be 100% week 1. I don't think he's going to be out there. So that should make you even feel even more warm and fuzzy inside, Craig, about your pick there. And
I like it. This is good.
And I mean, Chicago's offense, is what, 3rd year with the offense?
Yeah.
This is going to be his.
Matt Nagy. Yeah.
I mean, he's going to blossom this year. I in my opinion, the only competition he is going to have is if Fields gets on the field. Because he is
might take away some of those runs. Yeah, Fields could run the ball more.
That's smart, yeah.
But I mean, as far as a running back goes, he is the go-to guy. So
I'm gonna feel pretty confident with Nagy. Not some runs, yes. Some touchdowns, yes. But overall, I still think it's gonna be a Monty show.
Yeah, he's gonna be a good.
The full Monty.
He's gonna be a good. He's good at saving quarterbacks. So we've been seeing here in the past that they dump these running quarterbacks and they go run, and they end up injured. And the management is like, why did we spend all this money on an injured quarterback? So they're doing a good job saving these guys that can run. So
sure.
Well, after that Montgomery pick, Swift went off the board for the Lions, and then Michael Thomas. Now, most drafts, it's not going to happen. The ADP just hasn't caught up here for the auto picks that's happening. And so he's still going decently high up the board. And I think we have mostly agree that he should be going later. And then after that was my guy, my pick I wanted, Terry McLaurin. So I had to, I guess, this is where you should have your tiers. This is where you should have your guys in your head already ready in case, whenever you get to that spot, if something happens like this where McLaurin goes right before me, I'm going to take the best player available. And if it happens to be another running back, it will be. And that might be 3 running backs in a row, but in this case, it's not. It's going to be Darren Waller. Darren Waller, who I think
snap. That was a good pick, Josh.
should have been the second tight end off the board in my books, but I get him there. And so that gets us back around to myself. These picks are flying off the board here. Craig, you want to run us through after Waller? What happened?
Oh, Miles Sanders, Team 10. Josh Jacobs and Allen Robinson was another wide receiver in that tier that I'm hoping comes back to me. Top of the 4th. Mike Evans, followed by Julio Jones. Somebody else I have some interest in. We got our second quarterback, Josh Allen, which was the largest, most guaranteed money.
Yeah, I think so. 150 million, not dollars, not thousands.
Yeah, no, that was it's a lot of guaranteed money. Josh, you're 4th round. We're back on it.
Yeah,
What are you
I'm
thinking
ready
right
to go,
now,
guys?
You're ready now?
And this was the guy I was thinking about taking in the 3rd round, and he came back to me here in the 4th.
You're
This
kidding.
is where the 9th pick pays off sometimes, being in the back of the rounds, is because you get that, it comes right back to you. If you're at the back end or the front end, you get that double pick pretty much.
And absolutely, and that's something we all agree on. We cannot stress enough the tier-based drafting. He took Darren Waller because he was simply the best player available. Wasn't the one he wanted, but then the football god shine on him and still grant him the player he wanted. So let's see who that is.
And this player, he's probably going to take it over this year, guys. This guy has top 5 potential at the wide receiver spot. He was amazing in college. He's amazing here in training camp so far this year. All the raves I want Mr. C.D. Lamb.
Yeah,
guys.
that was a good one.
I think he could jump Mr. Amari Cooper this year, and he could be that huge breakout this year, and get in the top 5 of the wide receivers in the league.
So after Josh's pick, we did get another wide receiver, Charles Goodwin, coming off the board. Our 3rd quarterback, Kyler Murray, going, and then we got Amari Cooper, and then it is down to
That was after CeeDee Lamb, Chris Godwin. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Dustin knows who Chris Godwin is. It's just we're all reading these names so fast, like it all escapes us sometimes. No biggie. But no, another Cowboys wide receiver did go a couple picks later. So I know a lot of people have that battle between CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, and we also did an ADP battle the other night on them. And we pretty much split down the middle.
Son of a gun.
And Craig is back to cursing on the mic. He's on that's when you know he's on the clock.
Well, and
Oh,
it's not even cursing. It's just if I could have gotten, but didn't.
There's
happen.
no ifs or buts or anything now. You got to make the picks, or you got to make it. He's got 3 seconds, guys. Can he get it? And he does. He goes with Robert Woods. Hey, talk us through it, Craig. Why'd you go to Robert Woods?
Sean McVay offense. Robert Woods produces. He's going to be a top 20 wide receiver. He's got the possibility. If last year I think he was right at 15, I'm excited to see what Stafford does this year. I just want some of that offense. So if I'm in the 4th round, I know Robert Woods is going to produce. Is he going to carry my team? No, but he's not going to hurt the team either. Again, I have made 4 selections that every week they're going to give me something. Now we can start throwing darts at money shots and whatnot.
Yeah,
So
I was going to say, let's Galladay went next, Kenny Galladay, and then DJ Moore, and now it's on Dustin here. He's currently sitting with McCaffrey, Harris, and then Keenan Allen. So, Dustin, what kind of walk us through your mindset here as you're thinking about who you're going to take here?
I mean, we pretty much got the running back settled. I feel pretty confident on the running backs. Unfortunately, I think I'm going with Craig's logic, and I'm going to go ahead and start.
So, yeah, he's thinking the same thing as Craig just was saying about that Rams offense. I think he's going to go Cooper Kupp here.
And that's what's going to happen.
And that's what he does. Real quick, just to finish up that 4th round, it does go Lamar Jackson right there after his pick. So
oh boy,
the 4th quarterback off the board there. Dustin, why Cooper? Walk us through that real quick.
If Stafford wasn't the guy this year, if they still had
Jared
Goff,
King Joffrey.
Kupp still got it done with Goff, and I personally think Kupp is going to be a huge target for Stafford. He's just one of those guys that line up in the slot, and Stafford loves those guys. So.
3 touchdowns, something like that last year, buddy.
Yeah,
I mean, he's going to have more this year. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think you can't go you can't go wrong either way between Kupp and Woods. I think they're going to both jump off the charts this year, and their numbers are going to go up with Stafford behind the helm. We're going to get here into the 5th round now. We're not going to go pick by pick so much. If not, guys, we're going to be here all night. I don't think the listeners want us to drag it out so much, but we are going to just highlight our picks as we go on the rest of the time, and then we'll run through our teams real quick here at the end. So it is back on to Dustin here as he goes and
it is me.
gets this pick going and starts looking to see who he wants to go with. Henderson went right before him. So, Craig, what are we thinking so far about how the draft's panning out?
I'm digging it, man. I really am. I was happy with that right there. I was counting on it. I was banking on it. It happened. I don't want to start the run, but I also don't want to finish the run. So that's when you're going to take your quarterback.
And so Dustin took Travis Etienne, and then Craig took Dak Prescott. So he got the 5th quarterback there off the board, and his first quarterback. Now we are on the clock here, or I'm on the clock. I'll let the guys chat it up here while I look through who I'm going to take.
Well,
I chose Etienne, if that's how you pronounce his name.
yeah, big upside.
Etienne.
He has big upside. That's pretty much it. We'll see what it looks like.
And I went wide receiver here, Tyler Lockett.
Another big upside.
Yep, big upside. The only thing about Tyler Lockett I don't like is his up and downs. It feels like he goes through stretches of the season where you can't play him, but hopefully Russ is going to be cooking this year.
Yeah.
Son of a gun.
So what made you pick Prescott?
Top 5. If I can get a top 5 player
In the 5th round.
In the 5th round, that's what I want to do. So, again, do I think Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott? That's the top 5. So if I can get the top 5, that's what I want. If it was a 4-point passing touchdown, I might be inclined to go somewhere else if there was another player out there that had me lean in that direction. But a lot of guys, Myles Gaskin, Kareem Hunt, which Hunt, maybe, especially if I was the Chubb owner. But no, give me the QB right there.
Absolutely.
I really wanted Mark Andrews to come back around. I knew he wasn't gonna, but I was hoping on that.
I was, to be honest, it was either Etienne or Mark Andrews. And
yeah, I think we're going to see Mark Andrews climbing up draft boards right now with the news of Brown that we talked about. Alrighty, guys, so it's back on me with the swing here, and I have my pick lined up, and I will go with, I don't know why it sounded like Oprah there.
Look under your seats.
You get a school in its own school district.
Okay, high upside players. We want high upside players.
And I'm waiting for it to pop up here so I can start. I think we have a little lagging issue here. And I got auto-drafted. I don't know how that happened, guys.
James Robinson?
Yeah, I got auto-drafted James Robinson. That's okay, though, guys. That's what happens whenever it accidentally turns on auto-pick on your phone, guys. See, this is why you got to be on top of your stuff here if you're drafting a line. Now, we're trying to multitask here, so makes it a little tougher for us, but just always pay attention. I accidentally hit the auto-draft button.
If you have a queue, make sure you've got guys in that queue.
And Craig took my guy. I was trying to select the running back out of Denver, the rookie, Williams. That was my last guy I thought was in that tier of guys I would put in my starting lineup. So he would have been my flex. It's going to be Craig's flex now. And looking pretty solid there, Craig.
I feel good about it too, man. I feel real good.
And then we went
I'm on the clock.
to Dustin. Dustin,
We're talking.
Dustin, what'd you think about your pick here? Who'd you go with?
I locked down my two
Running back?
Two running backs, 2 wide receivers. I could play flex, play matchups with Etienne and Sutton, turned back around and got my quarterback, the big man that just re-upped there in Green Bay. So I know, Aaron Jones is feeling happy about that, and so is Devontae Adams. So, I got a quarterback that is throwing to a number one wide receiver, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah, Sutton there, and then Aaron Rodgers, and now we're back on Craig here, who's as he looks through his picks here of who he wants to take. He right now is sitting with Ezekiel Elliott, Justin Jefferson, Montgomery, Robert Woods, Prescott, and Javonte Williams. So he's got 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and 1 quarterback. I think he was thinking tight end if Mark Andrews would have made it to him that last pick. So are we looking back at tight end here, Craig, or where are we fishing around at?
No, I think there's too. Well, for me at least, there's too many tight ends that if you miss the first 3 or 4,
then you might as well wait.
Yes,
I'm the same feeling. Dustin, what do you think about that?
I'm the same feeling. You got your tier base with tight ends. There's only certain A, B tiers. So here in the 8th round. 9th, 10th is when I'm probably going to start looking at, a tight end.
And it is on me, guys, here, and I'm looking for my next pick here, and I'm leaning. I see Noah Fant. I really like Noah Fant this year, but I will go with the Eagles. Rookie wide receiver here. We talked about him earlier. He did make it to the 7th round. You could maybe see him fall a round or 2 later, maybe in your home drafts with his injury news, but looking for him to have a big year.
It's the end of the 8th round. That's not a bad spot. That's a good spot to take him.
Yeah, we talked about it in our our news. It's about finding value, and value at an 8th round, not a big push.
Well, it's right back around to me, guys, and I was in my head here about maybe Noah Fant. I think he's going to have a huge year. So I'm bouncing that back and forth. I also see Trey Sermon still on the board, a guy that I really like that could have some opportunity there in San Francisco. And I'm also still quarterbackless. But I usually like to wait on that. I will swing with Noah Fant. After I just said I would wait till tight end to the end of the draft, but I just love the upside there with Noah Fant. And it is on Craig here, and we'll see which way he's going to lean after going wide receiver Robbie Anderson with his last pick. Dustin, what are you thinking so far with this draft? Your team shaping up good?
I mean, my team's shaping up how I wanted it to, so you can't really, except for that pick. Thank you, Craig.
Craig took Trey Sermon right from underneath Dustin's nose.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was a little closer to the mic, it literally would have been underneath his nose there. Dustin goes Laviscus Chenault. Is that how I said it, Craig? Is that right?
Yeah, Chenault for sure.
Chenault. What do you think about Chenault this year, Craig?
I like him a lot, man. I think the offense has an opportunity, especially PPR. The offense is going to run through somebody. The coach has a plan. He has the quarterback. He's got some weapons. We've already seen that Chark is not going to. Chark still has a chance of doing it, but I think on PPR it's definitely Chenault. He's gonna catch a lot of balls this year.
Definitely a great upside play. He doesn't have to put him in his lineup. This is a bench guy for Dustin here, and if he flourishes, then he will make his way into your starting lineup. Is Dustin, is that what you were thinking?
That is what I'm thinking. I watched him a lot in Colorado with them being in the Pac-12. My team's in the Pac-12. He's one of those gritty players that I don't know if I call him gritty. He's just a playmaker. They get him the ball, little cutback routes, and let him go make plays, make people miss. So I like players like that. So,
guys, see, this is why this is our first time doing this drafting live, and as Dustin's thinking about who he's going to take here, and then we'll have Craig up next. I took 2 tight ends. Guys, this is what you do not do. Don't follow what I'm doing because I've already auto-picked, and I took 2 tight ends. Man, amazing tight ends, though. I had Darren Waller before, guys.
Hey, we put this on 30 seconds, and
yeah, guys,
it's flying.
yeah.
The main info we want to get out of this is just you're seeing where guys are going right now, and we're giving you some info on them and how we feel about them. Where do we go here, Dustin, with your pick?
I went Justin Fields. We talked about it before. For me, it's big upside. I don't have to play him every week. I got an every week player in Rodgers. He's going to give me those numbers. If for some reason Fields explodes and becomes the next Patrick Mahomes, I have him on my bench, and I got him in the 9th round.
So what you're saying is you can wait for him to get on the field.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And now we were on Craig. Brandon Cooks went right before him. That was one guy that I was hoping would make it back to myself that I saw they were still on the board.
We're going to be 10th round, and I guess now we're going to pull the trigger on a tight end.
And he goes tight end here. He went with
Tyler
Higby. So, guys, talk about Higby here while I got my pick going.
It just goes back to Sean McVay. So if I got Robert Woods several rounds later, I go with Higby. That offense is going to produce multiple pass catchers. At least 2 guys are going to come out of there looking good. So,
and with Stafford, they're going to be throwing the ball.
Yeah.
So,
there's going to be yards, there's going to be touchdowns. You got to. I just want as much of a high-powered offense as possible.
Guys, I finally got my quarterback here. I went with Ryan Tannehill. No A&M bias there at all. No, I love the situation he's in this year, and with the extra weapon that they got with Julio, I think he could have a real big chance of jumping off the board here. And what the last 2 seasons, he's averaged. Would he finish top 10 if he would have started that whole the whole first season there with Tennessee? I think he would have finished top 10 there too. But he did average top 10 QB for that season. Am I right there, Craig, on that? As far as Tannehill, he did finish top 10 last year, right?
I'm pretty sure he was 5th. I think he was top 5.
Yeah.
Him and Allen are 2 players that every year they surprise me. Like, I just don't feel good about their offense, and then they're making plays to nobody's. Now, if you're in the NFL, you're probably a somebody, but
yeah. Well, I mean, they got they got A.J. Brown and Julio Jones now. So I mean, before then, it wasn't a lot there for him to throw the ball to, and he was making it happen. I see a couple wide receivers here that I like, and I'm gonna go get this guy who I think has a lot of upside here.
Dang.
Antonio Brown for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Solid pick, bro.
With that offense, and now he has a whole season with Tom Brady. I think he could flourish big time. We swing back to Craig here. Craig, who'd you end up taking?
After you got Antonio Brown, who's going to produce, Corey Davis. He could be the number 1 for the Jets. I had to go the number 1 wide receiver there.
So at this point, guys, most of your team, like your starting spots, are all going to be filled out. Now you're really, we got 3 more picks left here, and Dustin's about to take his first one with those 3 left. He did take who did you take, Dustin? Tell us about your pick.
It's a Irv Smith, big tight end. We talked about, I think Minnesota's going to be throwing the ball a lot this year. And tight end's one of those positions that at this day and age, they're almost just a wide receiver. Get lots of touches, big dude, sit in the back of the end zone. That's the style that you want nowadays on your team, So now Dustin's back up with that swing around. And like I said, we got 3 picks left here before we got to pick a kicker and a defense, which we're not going to today, guys. I don't think y'all need to know about kickers and defense. We might highlight a couple defenses, though. And Craig, what are you thinking so far? How are you feeling about your squad?
I'm loving it, man. It's going according to plan. I know anxiety levels always rise in a draft. It's fun. It's exciting. But as long as you've got those mental reps, you're going to have a pretty good idea who you're drafting. So even with the 30-second clock all the way through, trying to talk it out, let y'all into my mind, I know when it comes right down to it, I've usually got a pretty good pick in mind. Having a top 50, having a top 100, that always helps,
Yeah, like if you're doing a live draft at home, you're have more time. I know a lot of people put timers up, but you still got to get your pick up there eventually. But I don't think there's a lot of rushing. But now when you're drafting online, there's a timer against you, so you got to be prepared. You got to have your notes in front of you. You got to have, take our top 10s. We're telling you, take your top 50 guys that we're telling you here, and just keep that in the back of your mind or write it down. And
Formulate your own plan. That way, if you're on the clock, you know exactly what you want to do. Listen to several guys, and then come up with your own plan.
Dustin, you went back-to-back tight ends here. Talk us after Irv Smith. You went with
Hunter Henry. I like big tight ends.
You really do like big tight ends. You've said that a couple times.
I do.
Touchdowns, brother.
Exactly. Yeah, they post out in the corner of the end zone, and we seen it with Gronk. He kind of started it. But Hunter Henry is a guy who he doesn't drop a lot of balls. If he stays healthy, he is probably a top 10 tight end. I did go back-to-back just for the fact that I could play schedules, I could play matchups, whether I'm starting either Smith or Henry. So,
well, I think too, like getting these later tight ends, you got to kind of, if you don't feel that comfortable with the one you got, you got to kind of double dip just to cover your butt, so to speak, in case one of them doesn't pan out like what you were thinking.
Absolutely.
This guy, I love the quarterback situation he has or he had it last year, but he was a little bit nicked up, and he didn't get into playing with the team for a little while. The quarterback, I like Devontae Parker here. I like the upside. I think he's still the number one guy there. It's not Waddle's spot yet. I think it's still Devontae Parker, and then you're going to have Waddle at wide receiver 2. And it jumps right back around to me, guys. What are y'all thinking about that pick there, Devontae Parker? How do y'all feel about Parker?
You know, everyone keeps talking about Waddle, and I think in PPR, sure, but half-point standard, Devontae Parker was a first-round pick, and they've given him some money since being there. He's had some, granted, maybe only 1 or 2 seasons where he's produced, but he's a big wide receiver. Just like Dustin wants big tight ends, I think that touchdown threat, I think Devontae Parker's a solid pick. There's upside there.
Absolutely. He's got that outside breakaway speed. Coming out of Louisville, playing with Lamar. So he helped Lamar actually get to where he is. But I definitely like it. He's one of those that they don't drop many balls. And Tungalua, I know I messed up that name, but I think he should be pretty healthy this year.
Tua Tagovailoa.
There you go.
And so it's back on myself here for a pick. I'm looking good at tight end, as I accidentally drafted 2 of them. So since I did go Ryan Tannehill, I will do this. I have 2 picks left, and I'm going to take a little swing for the fences here. And we talked about this the other day on the last episode. Deshawn Watson, we don't know what's happening with him. We don't know where he's going to be. Could get traded. Rumors this week about getting traded to the Eagles, and then now it's stalling out. And either which way, if he gets on the field, you know he's a top 5 guy. So I have him sitting on the bench in case something happens. If we end up getting some more news later on in the season that he's not going to play, I can just drop him and pick up somebody else. It is now on Craig as he looks through that. What'd you think about that move, Dustin? Was that, taking Watson later?
I mean, we did discuss this in the past, and as long as you son of a bitch,
something just happened. Craig just sniped Trey Lance.
Oh man, that messes everything.
Yeah, that was.
At this point, you're we can talk through and tier-based drafting. I gotta go with my boy Cole Beasley.
Solid pick, brother.
Solid pick, yep, in that offense, and he's still the number 2 guy.
Yep.
Possibly number 3. I mean, it just depends on it's going to be a close tie between him and Sanders. We got to see what Sanders does.
I like Sanders, but I like Beasley. So
yeah. The Trout Man goes, just throwing out a little highlight here. He goes at the beginning here of the 13th round before Dustin's pick. It's always a good one to watch out for. And Dustin snipes my guy that was hoping that it would get back to me here, Tevin Coleman, who could be the starter at least for a couple weeks for the Jets. And it's always great to have a starting running back this late in the draft.
Absolutely. We talked about before, value, huge value with Coleman. Hopefully, he can get on the field and bring back some of the old Coleman highlights.
Yeah, I mean, he's a couple years now removed from that knee injury. Like, I know sometimes ACLs take a while to come back from, and that's what we might be looking at this situation for him. My running back well is pretty much dried up, guys. That was my last one I'd really feel comfortable going with. That was taken by Dustin. So I am going to pop back over here real quick and see what the overall looks like. And I have 9 seconds.
That's crazy. Jones going in the 12th.
Yeah, I took Paris Campbell here, guys. Just lay around flyer, shot in the dark. If it doesn't work out, drop it like it's hot.
It's 13th pick.
Yeah. That's our last picks coming here, guys. Or my last pick here, second to last pick. And now I got to take a defense. We're going to just do this for funsies. Defenses, I'm going to take the Rams here, by the way. You should always wait. Wait for your defense. Wait for your kicker, guys. Don't be the guy that takes the kicker in the 7th round or the 5th round.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. And now Craig's on the clock. A couple kickers did go before him. So if you want to go kicker and then defense or kicker with these last 2 picks, it really doesn't matter, guys. Whatever your preference is.
I was actually trying to auto pick, and I don't care at this point. Just give me a kicker and a D.
I think, guys, we're going to finish up this. We're going to let it run through real quick, and then we're going to talk through our squads real quick, and then we'll put it out there, guys. Leave your comments on YouTube. Let us know who you think
please.
will
leave
win.
your comments.
Absolutely.
And leave your comments out of there about me drafting 2 tight ends, guys, or I will come back at you.
Yeah, no, that's degree of difficulty. I don't think so, buddy. You're an adult.
And Dustin did take the Cleveland Browns there, and then the Colts kicker, and it's back on Craig to just select the defense here. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it'll give him something.
Yeah, I'm going to let that just pick for me because I'm excited about my team.
Yeah, definitely. We'll talk about it. It did auto the Browns. The Broncos for him. And
solid defense.
Me, I'll take. No, that was a good pick there. It auto for you, and I'm just going to select whatever kicker I want. How about Greg the leg for the Cowboys? You can't go wrong there. That high-powered offense. Hopefully that's going to pay off. All righty, guys. Well, I'll let Dustin kick it off first. He can run through his squad and give us the highs. If there's any lows, what do you think?
Go with your strength and go with your weakness.
Yeah.
It's
like I have no weakness.
At this point, I think my weakness would probably be wide receiver. Other than Keenan Allen,
you could have some wide receiver issues.
Yep.
I think Cole Beasley, though, that was a solid pick there.
Cole Beasley, he's always one of the guys that show up and produces. But strengths definitely running back,
tight end,
yeah.
Irv Smith could hit, or he might not. I don't know.
Exactly.
Hunter Henry, that's why he double dipped there.
Hunter Henry's got a old boy over there from Tennessee opposite of him.
The good thing about waiting
in
this
a
long,
low passing volume offense, I don't know. That's risky.
And taken in the 10th and 11th, I don't mind if I have to go to the wire with them.
Sure.
If I have to drop Coleman for whoever's popping off on tight end, that's what I'll do. It's rolling with the punches.
Yeah, guys, and I think before Craig gets into his team here, we're gonna see, as I asked Dustin this question live, can we take a shot of this screen and can we post it up on Twitter, which y'all can follow us at FF House Show.
Absolutely.
On Twitter. Dustin, as he kind of looks at that, Craig, what are you thinking about your team? Run us through your squad.
Zeke, top 5 running back. Me personally, I think I've got him 3rd or 4th. Justin Jefferson, he finished amazing as a rookie. There's no reason why it shouldn't continue. So another foundational piece. Montgomery, Robert Woods, high-powered offense. Dak Prescott. We all know what he was doing last season if he was on pace for 6,000 yards. I have Javonte Williams, where I started swinging for the fences in the 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 6th round. If Williams and Sermon, who I got in the 8th, I've got RB2, if not RB3 upside between those two players. I should say my 3rd and my 4th running backs give me some upside if, for whatever reason, Montgomery or my flex. So I feel good at running back. Wide receiver, if it's Jefferson, Woods, and then Robbie Anderson, who I like in that offense. Should be some targets, should be some production, and he should have some touchdown regression. Tyler Higby, if my weakness is tight end, I took one tight end, but it was a guy I believe in that offense. So, again, just like Dustin, if Higby doesn't play or pan out, I can always go somewhere else. If you'll notice, going in the 11th round, I really start going big here with Corey Davis, Bateman from the Ravens, two guys that they offer serious upside if they could be the number one in that offense. Trey Lance, the upside is too great. We saw it with Lamar Jackson a couple years ago. I couldn't pass on that. Again, if by week 2, week 3, Garoppolo's winning games and I think they're going to stick with him, I can always let Lance go. If they let Garoppolo go in the 3rd week, you're not going to want to pay it for Trey Lance. Round 14, Jaylen Reagor. I had him last year in a couple leagues. I wish I had him in more. By the end of the season, I know he didn't pan out, but again, just like Corey Davis and Bateman, it was somebody who could emerge, especially with the news today. He could emerge as the Eagles' number one. If he doesn't, I cut him loose. So I feel good about my running back, my wide receiver. I guess my tight end would be the one area. I took the best flyer as early as I did, but that'd be my one area of weakness right there.
Yeah, guys, I think we have a case of, you're going later on in the draft here, like I did, 9th pick. You don't get some of the guys you want here that, you like that more star-studded running back. But I started off with Chubb and Mixon. I think between those two, I should hopefully get a top 5 guy out of one of those two. That's my goal, hopefully. Then Darren Waller and CeeDee Lamb, and I was feeling great. And then Tyler Lockett is what was kind of leftovers there for me at the best player available, I thought at the time there, when I thought maybe I could get an Ayuk or Julio Jones might fall back there to me, but that did not happen. Then I have James Robinson here, my flex. Devontae Smith, Noah Fant, Ryan Tannehill's my quarterback. Also have Watson there just in case too. Antonio Brown, Devontae Parker, Paris Campbell. Now, what I'm kind of looking at here, CeeDee Lamb's definitely my wide receiver 1 for my team. And then between Lockett, Antonio Brown, and Devontae Smith, I'm going to put together my wide receiver 2 there. Whichever one's popping, whatever one's hitting. And so I think any of those guys have some big potential.
I think AB, just like Dustin had Cole Beasley, that could be a solid wide receiver 2 late. I think AB, again, could be a solid wide receiver 2 late.
And Devontae Parker. I mean, if he pops off and that starts to be Tua's main target.
Yeah.
You got a wide receiver.
We're hating on Tyler Lockett too, man. Like the dude produced.
Oh, yeah,
he was top 10, but
yeah, like Lockett, he's kind of hit or miss some weeks, but he always ends up in that top 15 wide receivers at the end of the year. So guys, I feel pretty good, and I got Deshawn Watson sitting there too in case. I don't think, hopefully, nothing would happen to Ryan Tannehill. But, I mean, if Watson gets on the field, he'll just probably outperform Tannehill possibly in the fantasy football category.
Sure. You have 2 top 5 guys right there, possibly.
And so, usually I would never double dip on quarterback or on tight end. The tight end was a mistake. As this is our first mock of the year, guys, we're trying to get our feet underneath us here and just trying to fill out everything. What guys do you think? Is there anybody out there that y'all thought y'all might have missed on as we wrap up this episode?
I really wanted Mike Williams.
Mike Williams, yeah. Where did Mike Williams go, real quick, Craig? While Dustin talks about his guy.
Mine was Jones going in the 12th. I mean, Lawrence being the new quarterback he is. If Jones and him get a connection like him and Stafford had. I mean,
Marvin Jones, yeah. Marvin Jones every year seems to always sneak his way a couple games and end up in the top 10. Craig, did you see where Williams went by any chance?
Yeah, I had to take my tight end in the 10th round, and Williams went 3 spots later.
Yeah, he's kind of rose a little bit. Cause I've seen,
A.J. Dillon, 2 spots before that. I thought I'd be able to walk away with a Williams or a Dillon, too, man. That's another guy.
Huh.
What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm money, baby. I got everybody I wanted after I did my mess ups.
You recovered well, sure.
Seriously, there was one guy that I had my eye on, Miko Hardman. Got away from me there. I had him queued up there and was waiting for him. took Watson instead just because I was licking my chops at the opportunity of having a top 5 QB that late on my team. But Mecole Hardman's a guy that I like that's now the wide receiver 2 there in a high-powered offense.
And we talked about it before, the value factor of Watson. I mean, worst case scenario, you can ship him out and take care of the issues you have in wide receiver.
Sure.
And, depending on the news. So,
guys, I'll tell you where there's no issues at. There's no issues whenever you want to go with Horseshoe Dreams Boutique, guys. That's where you can order through Facebook, guys, and you can get whatever customizations you want on T-shirts, tumblers, earrings, everything. We're checking out some of the stuff online, man. Oh, man, I saw some pretty neat stuff. All you got to do is, as the kids say, slide into the DMs, slide into the messenger there on Facebook, and, we're looking at some cool stuff.
If you know a friend that can draw, you can look up
Send
Horseshoe
the image,
Dreams.
yeah.
Send it to her, and she'll put it on.
Together. She'll ship it to you. There you go, guys. Check that out. Horseshoe Dreams Boutique on Facebook.
We got to find an artist. That's what I need to do.
Yeah.
It'll be fun, right? She puts it on anything, so it'll be exciting.
absolutely.
Well, guys, to recap real quick, that was our first mock of the year. I think we're going to try to get another one in before.
Leave in the comment box below, please. Who won? Josh, Dustin, or myself? I'd like everybody to know who won.
I will slap some haters through the internet if they want to come
It's a solid
at me.
team, boy. I'd put money on this right now.
I think all three of us,
There can only be one, Dustin.
there can only be one.
Unfortunately, at the end of the year, there can only be one winner.
This is the Highlander series, so, we only take one. But
Well, guys, we did run a little long with this episode. It is a mock draft episode, so it does take a little bit of time here. But thank y'all for sticking around. Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Football House. You can find us on YouTube at the Fantasy Football House, or I'm sorry, not the Fantasy Football House. And then on Instagram, fantasy_football_house. And then on Twitter at FF House Show. Dustin, what's your Twitter handle in case guys want to follow you out there and get some advice?
NiceGuyGaming.com or NiceGuyGaming16, sorry. We did get Facebook up this week, so that should be should be going soon.
Fantasy Football House on Facebook.
Right.
Yep.
We're doing Discord, should be opening up really soon.
They can already search for our channel on Discord, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you start getting in there commenting, and then we'll comment back, guys. Any questions y'all have on any upcoming drafts you might have coming up this week? I know drafts are getting going. Craig, where can we find you out on Twitter?
True Blue the Third. That is True Blue III.
And you can find myself, Playmakers with the Z88 on Twitter. Guys, just reach out to us. Hit the like button. Check us out on Facebook. Yeah, check us out on Facebook. And but check it out on YouTube. Hit the like button, guys. Subscribe. We're gonna come at you right now at least twice a week. So let us know what y'all think. We're up for criticism. So let us know what we can do better. And guys, y'all want to close it out real quick? Any other comments?
Peace out, neighbors.
Laters, guys. Enjoy y'all's weekend.
Later, bud.